Every Pre-Code Horror and Sci-Fi Comic Book Ever Published, Part 2. Welcome to Part 2 of our series on every Pre-Code Horror and Sci-Fi Comic Book ever published. In Part 1, we covered all titles from Ace to EC Comics. Now we focus on comics F through Z, starting with the remarkable FAWCETT and ending with the great ZIFF-DAVIS. Herein we present the data of who, what, when, and how many are indispensable for the pre-code comic book collector. During the pre-code horror sci-fi period, approximately 1,370 issues from 110 titles were published. Many thanks to the great Four Color Fear, a fantastic reference book about pre-code horror and sci-fi comic books that helped me a lot in the making of my documentary, Haunted Thrills, free to view on this channel. FAWCETT, 42 issues. Titles: Beware Terror Tales, May 1952 to July 1953, issues 1 through 8. Strange Stories from Another World, August 1952 to February 1953, issues 2 to 5. Strange Suspense Stories, June 1952 to February 1953, issues 1 through 5. This magazine is haunted, October 1951 to December of 1953, issues 1 through 14. This is the original This Magazine is Haunted. Charlton would later take over this title. Unknown World, June 1952, 1 issue. Worlds Beyond, November 1951, 1 issue. Worlds of Fear, January 1952 to June 1953, issues 2 to 10. Fiction House, 13 issues. Titles: Ghost Comics, 1951 to 1954, issues 1 to 11. The Monster, 1953, issues 1 and 2. Fox, 1 issue. Titles: A Star Presentation, May 1950, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that is issue number 3. Gilmore, 12 issues. Titles: Weird Mysteries, October 1952 to September of 1954, issues 1 through 12. HARVEY, 96 issues. Titles: Black Cat Mystery, August 1951 to December 1954, issues 30 to 53. Chamber of Chills, June 1951 to December of 1954, issues 21 to 24 and 5 to 26. Thrills of Tomorrow, October 1954 to December of 1954, issues 17 and 18. Tomb of Terror, June of 1952 to July of 1954, issues 1 through 16. Witches' Tales, January 1951 to December of 1954, issues 1 to 28. HILLMAN, 1 issue. Titles: Monster Crime Comics, October of 1952, 1 issue. Key, 3 issues. Titles: Weird Chills, July 1954 to November of 1954, issues 1 through 3. Master, 22 issues. Titles: Dark Mysteries, June of 1951 to March of 1955, issues 1 through 22. Premiere, 2 issues. Titles: Horror from the Tomb, September of 1954, 1 issue. Mysterious Stories, December of 1954, issue number 2. Prize, 53 issues. Titles: Black Magic, October-November of 1950 to November-December of 1954, issues 1 to 33. Frankenstein, March of 1952 to October-November of 1954, issues 18 through 33. With a note, issues 1 through 17 featured humorous stories about the monster. Strange World of Your Dreams, August 1952 to January-February 1953, issues 1 through 4. Quality, 22 issues. Titles, Intrigue, January of 1955, 1 issue. Web of Evil, November 1952 to December of 1954, issues 1 through 21. Standard, 31 issues. Titles, Adventures into Darkness, August 1952 to June of 1954, issues 5 through 14. Out of the Shadows, July 1952 to August 1954, issues 5 through 14. The Unseen, 1952 to 1954, issues 5 through 15. Stanley Morse, 27 issues. Titles, Mr. Mystery, September of 1951 to October of 1954, issues 1 through 19. Weird Tales of the Future, March of 1952 to July of 1953, issues 1 through 8. Star Publications, 36 issues. Titles, Blue Bolt Weird Tales, November of 1951 to May-June of 1953, issues 111 to 119. Ghostly Weird Stories, September of 1953 to September of 1954, issues 120 to 124. Spook, January of 1953 to October of 1954, issues 22 to 30. Startling Terror Tales, May of 1952 to November of 1954, issues 10 to 14 and 4 to 11. Sterling, 2 issues. Titles, The Tormented, July 1954 to September of 1954, issues 1 and 2. Story, 36 issues. Fight Against Crime, September of 1952 to September of 1954, with a note that 1 through 8 featured crime stories, but 9 to 21 featured horror. Mysterious Adventures, March 1951 to December of 1954, issues 1 through 23. St. John, 25 issues. Titles, Amazing Ghost Stories, October of 1954 to February of 1955, issues 14 through 16. House of Terror, October of 1953, 1 issue, and that was 3D, which came with 3D glasses. Nightmare, October of 1953 to August of 1954, issues 3 and then 10 through 13. Strange Terrors, June of 1952 to March of 1953, issues 1 through 7. Weird Horrors, June of 1952 to October of 1953, issues 1 through 9. Superior, 53 issues. Titles, Journey into Fear, May of 1951, September of 1954, issues 1 through 21. Mysteries Weird and Strange, May of 1953 to January of 1955, issues 1 through 11. Strange Mysteries, September of 1951 to January of 1955, issues 1 through 21. Toby, 14 issues. Titles, Tales of Horror, June of 1952 to October of 1954, issues 1 through 13. Tales of Terror, 1952, 1 issue. Youthful/Trojan, 22 issues. Titles, Beware, June of 1952 to March of 1955, issues 10 through 16 and 5 through 14. Chilling Tales, December of 1952 to October of 1953, issues 13 through 17. ZIFF-DAVIS, 8 issues. Titles, Eerie Adventures, Winter of 1951, 1 issue. Nightmare, Summer of 1952 to Fall of 1952, issues 1 and 2. Weird Thrillers, September of 1951 to October-November of 1952, issues 1 through 5. End of Part 2. Many thanks to 4-Color Fear, available wherever fine books are sold.